Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Josh Peak. This is episode 290, and I got two guests here. I got Joshua Treadaway and Greg Steele. Guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
So glad you guys wanted to be on. I got to spend the weekend with Greg. That was a lot of fun. And we just did a podcast with Treadaway earlier today, talking about Star Wars geekiness and all that fun stuff. WandaVision.
Yeah.
I was telling Treadaway just before you logged on that I used some of that Buc-ee seasoning tonight on some pork loin. I made pork loin like steaks and put them in the air fryer with some of that steak seasoning, and it's fantastic.
Is it good?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I did is after like everybody was saying, oh yeah, I gotta get that stuff. I stopped at Buc-ee's on my way back home and forgot to buy any.
Oh.
So I go, yeah.
Well, I ate the sandwich that you brought.
They don't ship it.
That thing? What's that?
Yeah.
You can buy it and get it shipped.
I'll be going back. Man, like there's a 0% chance that I'm going by that place and I'm not going in that place, right? Like, yeah. So, what do you think about that sandwich, John?
The sandwich was good. Because it'd been in the fridge, it kind of congealed together. So what I did was I put it on a baking sheet and put it in the oven at like 350, let it warm up so that it would pull apart. And then I separated it. I took the onions off and then I cooked it a little bit to kind of warm up the meat because it was a pulled pork. Was it pulled pork or pulled brisket?
It was a sliced brisket sandwich.
Sliced brisket sandwich. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
It was pretty tasty.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you go to Buc-ee's, and we're talking about Buc-ee's, I guess we haven't even really, well, I don't know, but when you go there, they have this big counter. And like they got people that are continuously slinging out those sandwiches and pulled pork sandwiches just nonstop, and people are running up and buying 6 and 8 of them. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So I only bought 2, and they're like, "Sir, what's wrong with you?"
Like how far away is that for you?
That sounds a little bit like our Publix down the road for their sub sandwiches. They get a big long line for the Publix sandwiches.
Yes, sir. It's the one that I was within to is in Warner Robins, Georgia. It's about an hour and a half from my house.
Okay.
They're building several in Florida. They're building one in Florence.
One in Florence?
Yeah, they're building one in Florence.
There's a billboard. And, I'm not exactly sure where, but it's coming.
I heard it was my cousin Tina told me that it's on like right where I-95 is or whatever.
Yeah, you can see it on 95 when you're heading north.
Yeah. What you drinking there, Treadaway?
Just a little Beam and Coke.
Yeah, I got a little bit of
a little
honey bourbon batch 2 this evening.
Oh, nice!
Oh, how about that? Yeah. I'm having a little bit of water, a little H2O.
Yeah, nice.
I've got H2O in it. It's frozen H2O.
Yeah, like Josh and the Water Boy.
Yeah,
high quality H2O.
Got some high quality H2O.
So is that the honey batch?
This is batch 2. So I did batch 1.
Dos Loco.
And then I had the honey. I took batch 1 of the honey out. I put batch 2 of bourbon in. Batch 2 of bourbon is out. Batch 2 of honey is in. Then I'll do batch 3 of bourbon. So yeah, but this is all 100. This batch 2 is all 100 proof stuff. So
100 proof, nice.
Yeah, it's a little more kick than batch 1. So,
Dos Loco. I said that twice.
Nobody got it. Still sweet though, really sweet, really sweet. I got to see you sometime so you can have some because it's.
Can you power a car with it?
Sorry, I missed you guys this past weekend. With this new job, I don't have the option to take time off like I used to.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, gotta work.
At 100 proof, if gas gets too high, can you put it in your car and drive it?
Not really. Not really.
I believe it's got to be over I think it's got to be over 160, doesn't it?
I don't know, but I mean, like you look at 100 proof and people are like, ooh, 100 proof. I mean, I have several barrel proof bottles that are like 134 proof.
Yeah, but it's only 50% alcohol though. That's what people are saying. The 100 proof is 50% ethanol alcohol.
Sure.
So I mean, you look at the gas is 92, 88.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, not saying we could use it in the car.
Yeah, I'm saying 160 or above, you could put it in the car, I think, and if in a pinch.
Right. Well, if you drink it, it'll put hair on your chest. Might even put hair on your head, Josh.
I already got enough on my chest. I don't need any more.
Yeah, I logged on tonight and I got everything set up and I was like, who's the white-haired guy looking at me in my clothes? And
oh,
that's me.
It's you.
Oh my God.
It just looks like you dyed it white. It doesn't look like it's like gray, like this in the beer.
Oh no, it really looks white.
got that Sephiroth thing going, man.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Final Fantasy 7 there,
Heck yeah.
Sephiroth to eat a sandwich and drink some beer.
Well, he had to do that. It was just off camera. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he had to stay in fighting shape for the game.
He went to Buc-ee's. Listen, Buc-ee's is something else. Like, you wouldn't believe what a topic Buc-ee's is in this town. Like, we're an hour and a half away, and I got people that like religiously posting every time they go to Buc-ee's. Like, it's a phenomenon, man. I'm telling you, it's something else.
When it opens in Florence, I want to go now.
Yeah, you should go. It's amazing. It's like an event. It's not a.
I mean, it's a bonus that I get to come see Josh, but I'm gonna also go and see Buc-ee's, and I want to check. I always like Little when I'm in Florence too. We have Aldi here, but we don't have a Little, and I like the Little store. It's really nice.
Yeah. Cool.
But the bonus is going and hang out with Josh and do a podcast live like you guys did, because he said that he did something different whenever you guys did your podcast. It, for some reason, it didn't show up on my iHeartRadio just to listen to, so it was only on YouTube. So I watched the video, and it looked fine. And I mean, it was, I saw both of you on screen the whole time. It worked out really nice.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I don't know. Oh well, I guess I think so.
I don't remember.
Don't get me wrong. I listened to like the first 20 minutes because I don't play Animal Crossing and I don't have a Switch, so I kind of just listen a little bit here and there, but.
My dad doesn't either, but he texted me today that he listened to it and he really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's I think I want to know about the video, like the stupid video that we did later, how that's doing, if people are watching that or not.
So far it's only gotten 21 views, but it's one of those things where keywords come up when people are searching. And I renamed it Greg is the worst fisherman in this game.
I did hear about that one. I didn't watch it yet, but I did see the post on that one.
I thought what was the best part about it was as he was doing it, we'd had a few drinks, so we started ad-libbing comedy stuff about what a horrible fisherman he was in comparison to like other things in the world. And it just got more hilarious as it went on, because he's playing, like all you see is him playing on the screen, but you hear both of us talking and commenting on what he's doing. And like every now and then, because our switches were linked up online together, you'd see my character run in and go help him do stuff. So it was so stupid. It was so stupid. Yeah. But I swear younger versions of us would be like, how the heck did you guys do that? That's the coolest.
Yeah, well, I thought it was funny because like I'm fishing and I'm bad at it, right? But I'm fishing and then like Josh is talking and basically you hear me in the background and it's like I'm going, oh, and it's like every time I miss a fish, like I suck so bad. I mean, I'm bad. What do you want to say? I mean, you should celebrate things like that.
Well, you'll be happy to know that CJ came to my island the next day and I, filled him up with lots of fish. Because CJ was like,
rub it in.
CJ was like, Nook, Greg was on your island yesterday, wasn't he? Nook.
Yeah, like laughing at me, that little bastard.
He kind of looked like a beast, didn't he?
Yeah. It is an amazing amount. Like Josh, we visited. I was probably there for like 36 hours, and I think we played Animal Crossing for 31 of it. Like literally, it was like
we could have made more content.
It was Pizza Meal and Animal Crossing.
King Hefe.
Yeah.
Oh, you did go to King Hefe?
Oh, dude, King Hefe's got a sushi bar there now, and they were making sushi as we were ordering it, and it is bonkers good. I was like, dude. Great.
Yeah.
Sushi and tacos, man. That's just. I mean, I don't know.
And we had a place.
Are they doing Mexican style sushi?
Yeah.
Are they doing like Southwest or Mexican style sushi?
No.
It's gourmet style.
Yeah, and we had like crab sushi or whatever. The sushi was great. I tell you what, man, that place is the bomb, right? Yeah. Like that food.
I've been for tacos and lunch with Josh, and it's fantastic. I love it. The nachos were awesome.
Yeah, you came with me. I'm gonna say you were with me and Alex, I think once or twice.
Well, we went. Me and you have been twice. Once with Alex, and we sat at the table, and then once me and you went for lunch and sat at the bar. But Danny was off that day.
Okay. Yeah, Danny was working behind the bar. Yeah, Danny was there when we went the other day, and Greg ordered something, and he was out of something, and he's like, "But I can substitute it and make it really cool." And Greg was like, "Okay."
Let's do it.
And it was good.
If your bartender is like, look, let me make you something special. Yep. I
Yep.
mean, right? The answer is yes, 100% of the time. Like they're not going to let you down.
Just give me that big tequila on the top shelf. That's all. Just
Yeah,
that big
that's
tequila
right.
on the top shelf. That's what I want.
Yeah, I was mentioning to Kyle your whiskey collect or your collection of bourbons, and then he was having me try like different kinds of whiskey that he picked up or bourbons that he picked up, and one of them was a Japanese. I don't exactly know the name of it, but he's like,
is that the Boss Hog?
It's a Japanese kind that has like a marshmallow aftertaste. I don't know the name of it.
Okay. One of my buddies at work, he's a manager. He's getting ready to actually leave, but he just bought himself a bottle of Boss Hog.
Oh, nice!
I don't think that Japanese brands would have the name.
He got a really good. He got a.
And he's muted.
And he's muted.
What did you do?
And he's talking.
Did you press the mute button?
Look at him. He's talking.
Yeah, his face is frozen.
Oh, I think it's frozen.
His internet provider said, enough Treadaway.
Okay, there we go. Now you're back.
Oh, I was worried you had Bill's palsy there for a second.
No, my internet was a little unstable. So.
Oh, if you mention the Boss Hog, I think that's what happens to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he opened it up at the work and brought it in so I could try some. So I had a little sample of it. It was really good. A lot of complex flavors.
Yeah, I mean that's I haven't had any of that because I mean, what's interesting about Albany is that there are like down here in Southwest Georgia. I mean, you can get a lot of bourbons here that you can't find anywhere else, but you just have to pay for them, right? So there's bottles of Boss Hog on the shelf, but they're like $500. I'm not paying.
You're not gonna. No, like I said, I would never have bought those.
Yeah, no way. But Josh Peak, I think that you probably had the two Japanese whiskeys that I think are the most popular. One is called the Buc-ee, and the other one's called Suntory.
Suntory.
I'm not. Yeah.
Suntory, I've heard of. I have heard. I never tried it, but I've heard that one.
Yeah, so that was one.
I kept telling him, I'm like, I don't drink that. He goes, just have a little sip, and I was like, I don't really drink this. He goes, you'll like it. And he gave me a little sip. It was tasty, but I was like, I don't see myself ordering that. But thank you.
Well, that's the same way. Like I went over to this guy's house. He had a chocolate rye, and it was just way too chocolatey for me. Like, I mean, I'm like, this was something I wouldn't drink, but it was. I mean. You know, but for people who like that kind of thing, it was fantastic. I mean, it had great flavor, it had good balance, but it was not for me for chocolate.
I didn't bring you any of the honey, did I, Josh P? That's
nope.
Gosh, I should have brought you some of the honey. The honey is really great.
Well, you brought me sausage, which is way better.
Well, you brought the Georgia spicy sausage?
Yeah.
I want some of that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Come on, baby.
Yeah. I know. You got it still?
Yeah.
If you ate all that already, you've been on it.
No. Yeah. I ate some and then I froze the rest. But yeah.
Yeah.
I told Treadaway, I said, next time you have a day off, man, plan to come to town, or we'll plan a day to come to town and we can do one of these in person. And we can kind of hang out for the day a little bit, play with lightsabers, and be super dorks.
I was actually going to think about trying to do that this coming Monday because I have Mondays off, but my check engine light kicked on a couple days ago, and on a not brand new car, but 2015. But turns out my thermostat's garbage. So I've got a guy that's going to fix it for me on the side, like at his house, for a discounted price because me and him are friends. Yeah. So Monday's kind of shot, but I might have Wednesday off as well. So I thought about maybe slipping down there Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Josh is free. His schedule.
Let me check my schedule.
That was the thing. I could slide down there anytime. By the way, real quickly, just want to shout out Greg. Congratulations to 95 coming back.
Oh, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, you called me the other day and talking to me about it.
I saw that you had a gig already planned.
Yeah, April 10th. We're gonna play a place called Tammy's, which is got a big outdoor deck, so it's outside. With COVID, we still don't necessarily really want to play like small enclosed places. But we're going to play a place that's outside, and I think it's pretty exciting. It's so interesting. During COVID, we lost half of our band, So me and the drummer were the only ones left, and we had to get a new guitar player and a new bass player.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did you actually replace those guys?
We did, yeah. And our new guitar player is really good, and like he knows, like he's like us with songs, right? Like he'll play some 90s song and I'll sing all the words, or I'll start singing this 90s song and he can play it. We both look at each other. I can't believe you know that song. I mean, he knows hundreds of thousands of songs, and I usually know the words to all of them, right?
Of course you do.
We have a good time in practice, and we're expanding a little because we're 95 and we used to strictly do all 90s, but now we've thrown in a few other things, like we're doing Blister in the Sun and just some other stuff, just not necessarily just all 90s. But our set list has changed tremendously because we have new members, and because our new guitar player, our old guitar player was a great guitar player, but our mission in that version of the band was, we're going to play just straight 90s. We're going to play them exactly like they're supposed to be played, and that's just what we're going to do. We'd all agreed to do that, and it was fine. But now with new members, it's a little different. Now everybody's just like, we don't necessarily have to be as strict with just all 90s. And then we want to do different songs. Our set list is way different. The other interesting thing is, so Cade, who's the drummer, also plays some acoustic guitar. And during COVID, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we did like the 7-song online streaming.
I didn't get a chance to see it, but I knew you were doing it. I caught a little bit of it.
Yeah, so my friend Cade always talks about how all these songs are like 4 chords. He's like, every popular song is 4 chords. And then he says, this song and this song are like the same song, just different, you know? And so when we did our live thing, we took ROCK in the USA by John Mellencamp, and we took 8675309. And it turns out they're like the exact same notes and like really the exact same song. And you can just play the same thing and you can just go back and forth with them, right? And so in the new band, the guy Josh, who's our new guitar player, another Josh, by the way.
Really? Another Josh in your life?
Yeah. Lane's like, Lane was like, his name can't be Josh. And I was like, yes, it is.
Because you're going to have to start calling them all by their last names.
Yeah, I do, believe me. Lane's like, I have no idea who you're talking about if you just use Josh.
I wonder what her personal thinkings are about that. I bet she's got some real insight to it.
Yeah. Well,
it's about like as much fun as it was for Greg to answer the phone at our apartment.
It's probably like she thinks there's something wrong with me. Like, I would do it. I can't help it if I only like people named Josh. What do you want? I was looking for a woman named Josh.
You throw Rodney in there.
That's true.
In our apartment, if it was a girl calling, it was for me. So.
Yeah. Oh boy.
You sure that's water you're drinking?
Sorry, that's just the truth.
You sure that's water you're drinking?
I cannot tell.
Awesome. All right, so let me get back to the story real quick. I appreciate that. So one of the interesting things is our new guitar player is also one who's like, we should just blend songs together or whatever. So we're doing a couple of pretty interesting song mixes. Like, it turns out that you can take Doin' Time by Sublime, and you can mix it in with, what's that song by the Gorillaz?
Feel Good.
Yeah, Feel Good. And you can mix that in with No Diggity. Like, they're all kind of the same beat and all kind of the same thing. And so, and you actually can put Kryptonite in there too if you want to.
So you're kind of flowing. You're kind of flowing between.
Right. Well, and you can go, like, they can play, and I can just go vocally in and out of all those songs.
Right. I was just saying, you as the vocalist, you're kind of flowing between all of them.
Sure. Yeah, and Doing Time by doing that Sublime song, that's an awesome dang song. I was like I mentioned it one day, and everybody's like, yeah, that's an awesome song. So that's a cool song. And then what did we do last night? We had practice last night, and we were playing. What did we play? Oh man, my brain is just not functioning. But we were trying to think of the song that it was that we were doing that flowed directly into The Joker by Steve Miller Band. It was like,
It's Raining Men.
Yeah. Oh no, that flows directly into well, let's not talk about it.
Was it a Neil Diamond song? Please tell me it was a Neil Diamond song.
Oh, definitely. It was the song from E.T. Turn on Your Heart Light. That's my favorite one. Like, seriously. Yeah. That mix is great with Donna Summers and Dionne Warwick.
Yeah, I'm a Love on the Rocks guy, but that's just the jazz thing.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're gonna when we play our shows, we're gonna say, like, once a set, we're gonna do something that blends a few songs together, which has turned out pretty cool. New guitar player is like super, super talented. Like he's crazy talented. So
Cool.
yeah,
Great.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun.
And I thought also one other statement real quick is I saw a picture from last year. It's amazing how much changed from year to year as far as, last year, this time you were sitting on a float basically.
Oh man, so here's an interesting, like, I 100% want to go back to Mardi Gras, right? It was like so much fun, it was crazy. But so Kay, there's the drummer in our band. If you want to get in a Mardi Gras float, you gotta know somebody, and like it's all these old families that can do it. But his wife is in one of those crews, and that's how I was able to ride. So he says to me, you know what they do on some of the Mardi Gras floats? He's like, some of them have a band. So he's like saying that, like, if 95 is still around and Mardi Gras gets back on, that he could like get 95
on the float
and we could ride Mardi Gras playing.
Pete,
How awesome would that be?
Just so you know, if that happens, we have to make Mardi Gras.
No, we don't have to, but go ahead.
Come on, man. You don't want to go to Mardi Gras?
No, I'm not babysitting you at Mardi Gras. Forget that. I know what that would be. That would be you.
I mean, there is a street called Bourbon Street, and I feel like that's probably where I was going to die.
I'm fully aware, but that's also where you might lose a leg. So
now here's a couple interesting things. I don't know if you think they're interesting. If you want to, like, one of the possibilities is you guys could ride on a Mardi Gras float and throw out beads and stuff.
No, that would definitely be a trip.
That would be like a once in a lifetime kind of event. I mean,
that's an automatic. I'm in. I don't care
assuming,
what I got.
Assuming that COVID, comes to some kind of normalcy and people can hang out in the crowd.
Well, they're doing what's called Yardi Gras right now. They're not having any parades. Actually, all the Bourbon Street's pretty much closed. All the French Quarter's closed. Everybody's doing their own private little party in their yards.
I mean, I would like to, especially if you get a chance to be on a float. I mean, how many chances in a lifetime do you ever get to do something like that? So, I mean, that's a bucket list thing, but also, like, it's one of those things where I know how severely drunk you can get, and I don't want to do that anymore.
Well, no. I would not consider you to be a babysitter for me. I would not do that. But I'm just saying, if we were on the float, though.
The only time I've been really bad off like that is when I got thrown out of Crocodile Rock, and you and Dolores had to babysit me, and that was
that cigar night?
Yes, that was the last night. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is embarrassing.
Where you're riding down the highway with the van door open?
I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't remember much. I mean, all I remember is thinking how embarrassed I was that Dolores had to clean up after me, and I was just like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore. This is ridiculous.
I don't mind if Treadaway cleans up after me, but not anyone else, right?
Well, he kind of owes you, Well,
I'll just kick him down the stairs.
Listen, I'm a good boy.
I'll just kick him down the stairs.
Well, no, I mean, that's, you look at the fact that we're almost 50 and you go, okay, I kind of know my limits. There's a way to maintain this happy buzz, and let's just do that.
There's limits?
There's limits?
Yeah.
Hey, all right, so the Mardi Gras thing, here's what I'll say. If you guys want to do that, I definitely could get you on a float, and it's like the funnest thing ever. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm like you guys. Like, when he came to me and he's like, hey, you want to ride on Mardi Gras float? I'm like, yes, right? Because again.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any other answer to that?
Yeah, right. Well, very few people get to do it. Now, with all that being said, it costs about $2,000. So you better save up because you have to buy all the stuff you throw out.
Oh, do you?
So what happens is you go on the float, and when you go on there, you have a place, and like there's bags and piles of crap, and you got to open it all up and you got to throw it all out. And so it's not necessarily super 100% cheap, but again,
it's a one-of-a-lifetime deal. I mean,
yeah.
It's like going to Disney and going to Star Wars Land. I mean, Galaxy's Edge. I mean, it's not going to be cheap, but I got to do it.
Right.
With all that being said, basically what happens is you go, and like the day of Mardi Gras, like you're joining this crew. The crew's throwing like some of the money you pay is going towards, they throw a big pre-party. So you're partying, you can party all day, like before you ever get on the float. Then you get on the float, then they have a big after party. And the after party,
wasn't there a couple of artists in
T-Pain was there, and I don't know, some other rappers I didn't know, but yeah, they get some, popular people, and then they have it's a big, huge party, and it has food and all that, so you get the whole day and the whole experience and all that kind of stuff.
Now, did you have a block for hotels? I mean, was it like a block?
Yes. Yeah. The crew gets hotels. And
okay, so let me throw this out there. For the same money, This is something that I heard on Bert's podcast. They did a challenge, a weight loss challenge, and the loser had to pay for the other two's experience for them to all go on to do something. So he had this bet with two other comedians, and one of the guys lost. So he basically said, all right, what do you guys want to do? And they wanted to go see the college national championship that year. And that was the year that it was in Atlanta. So they got field level tickets, which included all the drinking and food that you want is included. They got a limo there. They got an Airbnb. He said it basically worked out to about $3,000 a person for everything. All the drinking, all the food, all of the tickets, field level, everything. And I was like, I told my wife, I said, 3,000 a person sounds a lot, except for when you look at the experience and you go, that's actually pretty cool for what you get. I mean,
we go to Vegas and lose a lot more gambling.
I'm not. No, I won't.
Well,
you'd be like, where are you going, Josh? I'm like, I'm going to see the Beatles Love. Cirque du Soleil. It's awesome.
I'm going to the prime rib buffet for $4.99 because I'm broke.
No.
Man, if you ever go to Vegas again
Breakfast.
in your life for some reason, there's a show that's called Absinthe, and it's in a circus tent that's built outside of Caesar's Palace. And if you ever go, you got to go see it. It is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in my whole life, and it was so good and it was so entertaining. And we went to 3 shows when we were there. We went to Cirque du Soleil show, we went to another show, and went to this show. And this one's kind of like we thought would be the afterthought, and then ended up being so much better than the other shows. It was ridiculous. It was unreal and funny, man. You laugh for 2 straight hours. It was crazy. So I highly recommend that if you were to go back to Vegas for some reason.
Well, never been to Vegas, and I'm scared to go to Vegas just like I'm scared to go to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I feel like I'm never coming back from one of those.
That's possible.
I mean, the good thing about like being on the float is like if we were on the float, you'd be on there with us. You know what I mean? Like basically,
on the float is different. On the float, because you're involved in it, you're not just sitting there just pounding.
Yeah,
I mean, you're drinking a little bit.
Here's the good part.
After, but
here's the good part. So when we get to the after party afterwards, our hotel was like directly across the street from the after party. So when we got tired, we just left and went to sleep.
Stumble across the street.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yep.
But anyway, I don't know about the college. To be totally completely honest with you, I'm not sure I would pay $3,000 to go to college championship game because I just don't love college football that much. To me, I would recommend the Mardi Gras experience.
That was one of the years that they went to. That was one of the years that was it Clemson or?
No, it was. I thought it was Bama and Oregon.
No, it was Bama and Clemson, and they went to like 3 overtimes or something like that. It was like one of those games that went back and forth till the very end. But it was, I mean, for the great
for that amount of money, and from that, it would have to be a Gamecock national champion.
Yeah, right. That's right.
It'd have to be the Gamecocks playing in the championship.
Oh, well, hey, you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, you don't know. Hey, listen here, buddy. Beamer is going to bring back. Okay. Beamer is going to bring back the 11-win seasons.
Okay.
He's the reason why we had all those recruits.
Stop it. You got to stop because I'm having too hard.
Spurrier didn't recruit those guys. Beamer did.
Oh, man. I'm just messing with you. But
I'm optimistic.
Yeah. But here's what I'll say.
I'm beyond optimistic. I'm excited.
I'll say this to you, and I'll leave it alone after this, but I'm going to say to you that on the Mardi Gras float, it was one of the most unique and best experiences of my life as far as like sometimes you do something and it's just like, wow, like this is really something. It was like that. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Okay.
So I highly recommend it, and it's a doable thing. If you guys want to do it, we can do it.
Hey, if it comes back and we can do it, I'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, we can do it.
Did you get to play with his lightsabers?
I did.
Is it as cool as it looks?
I had to sign a document. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm sorry, Josh.
I tried to get him to take it in the dark and play with it, and he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, he's like, don't turn off the lights. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, he tried to take it in the dark, all right.
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, it looks way cooler in the dark. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no. I said, we've played this game before.
The force is strong with this one.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, feel the hate. I'm like, please don't make me.
So
Oh, boy.
I gave Greg homework, but I doubt he's going to do it. I told him to go back and start watching WandaVision now because it's about to wrap
Treadaway
up.
was yelling at me about it today.
I did as
Yeah,
well.
he was yelling at me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Somebody I
Don't
read
listen.
some Facebook post.
Don't listen to our podcast about it because we talked about it today. Don't listen to it.
I won't.
Yeah.
I won't do it. Even
That
if I
was-
did, I wouldn't remember.
That
if
was
I
the main
watched,
thing we
but-
talked about.
I mean, you've listened to some. You've listened to, according to when I talked to you about a week ago. You've listened to some of our podcasts when we talk about this stuff. Have you watched any of those episodes, or have we spoiled those for you?
No, you didn't spoil them because, like, when you're talking about them, I got no idea what you're talking about, right? Like, so I can watch it, and I'm not worried that you will have spoiled anything. And I'm going to watch it at some point. You know, I mean, you guys be really mad at me, but I haven't even finished season 2 of The Boys yet, so you know how bad that is.
Really? You haven't finished season 2?
Not yet.
I couldn't
did.
stop. I literally, like, at the time, like, I kept, Chrissy and I were like ready for bed. It was like 2:00. We're like, we got to watch another episode.
Yeah, I know it.
We got another
Well,
watch episode.
I just watched the episode where they were like on that boat and the fish guy was chasing
Oh,
them.
Jesus. You just
they drove
started
the boat.
episode. You just started
They-
season 2.
They drove it through that whale. That was amazing.
You just want you. It's like the third. That's like the third episode of season 2.
Oh, I'm doing poorly. You know how
You haven't even gotten to the really good part yet.
I know. I'm working on it. You know,
All right,
I can only,
fair enough.
only
I
do
mean,
so much.
I can't say anything. Josh talks about all these shows and episodes and things that he watches. I don't watch a lot, but certain things I do watch, I watch as much as I can.
I don't think
I've
we have the
realized
time he
also
does.
that whenever I'm doing a podcast about a subject, like I can just go ahead and ruin it and just say, listen, if you're going to watch this, don't listen to this episode. Go watch it
Yep.
and then listen to this episode. Because there's people out there that want to talk about it. And I thought, what the hell am I waiting for? Like, nobody's going to come up to me on the street and be like, hey, so what do you think about this? I'm like, just talk about it now. So,
Well, that's the perfect. That's why it works out perfect for us on Mondays because
Yeah.
it comes out on Friday. Even with the Mandalorian, it came out on Friday,
Yeah.
and then they had the whole weekend. Even if they work like a regular 9-to-5 job, they have the weekend off. They have time to listen and watch it. So by Monday, they should have seen it if they really wanted to see it.
which, I know you got busy this past Monday, but it did allow me to go back and rewatch it again. So that way everything would be fresh in my head when we talked. Because I was like, oh,
Well, like I said, Chrissy had to fly out to Texas,
Yeah.
and it kind of. But I mean, she
Yeah.
had family issues she was dealing with. So
Yeah. Well,
but,
family always comes first, man.
Well, it also helped me because I actually didn't go to be able to deep dive into the Hargrave thing until
Harkness.
last night. So right before the podcast this morning, I actually kind of studied that and watched the videos and found out all the information that we talked about earlier.
Agatha
I
Harkness.
don't know anything about any of that. But I'm going to watch it. I'll get there. That's, again, we're watching Poldark, so, that's how it goes.
Have you had a chance, or are you planning to watch a tiny map of perfect little things?
It's on my list. I haven't had time to watch it yet.
That's sort of the title.
I'll tell you right now, before you finish The Boys 2, as much as I really love that,
Yeah.
watch that. I didn't. Josh talked about it, and he talked about it with so much fervor. I had to watch it, so I watched it.
Yeah.
And it is my new favorite thing of all little things now, other than Star Wars.
Yeah. I know you both loved it. I'm gonna watch it. My
It's
TV.
something that Lane would watch with you. It's actually, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, she's gonna watch it with me. I think I got this problem where I work pretty long hours, like, and not all the time, but in the last 8 weeks with COVID, I've been working a lot of hours, and when I come home,
It's
I got
called the
Animal
map.
Crossing stuff to do. Right? I mean, I got stuff to do. I mean,
It's called the map
Yeah.
of tiny perfect things.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry. I thought it was a tiny. I'm sorry. I thought it was a tiny map.
Yeah, so that really cuts into my TV watching time because I have
Listen, speaking of which, tomorrow is
stuff
the
to
big
get.
unveil. There's a download
Ah,
tonight for the Mario
Super
upgrade.
Mario.
Super Mario
That's
Brothers
right.
is entering into Animal Crossing. All of the cool stuff from Super Mario Brothers. We're getting
Yes,
a
it
tube
is.
that you can go in on one side of the island and pop up on the other side.
Yeah.
Can you
That's
do
right.
more? Are they going to have a Mario Kart?
Didn't see the cart.
We don't
but
know.
also there's a
Well,
section that we
we
couldn't
don't know
see.
all the items.
They previewed
Yeah.
it online, but they didn't show you everything. It was just sort of a teaser.
Yeah. We don't know all the items. We know that there's going to be coins, and we know there's boxes you can float there where you can jump and hit the coin thing, and turtles, and there's going to be a bunch.
There's going to be
but
floating brick walls where you can
you can be all
possibly
the
build
all the
stuff on
Mario
top of it.
characters you can turn into them. Yeah. So
mushrooms
it's
that you can
coming.
jump on.
Yep, that's right. So that is tonight, isn't it, or tomorrow?
Tonight.
The update was 5 p.m., right?
If you open your Switch right now, it says "Be prepared. Tonight is the download."
Okay.
Oh,
I know because I was waiting for you guys and I turned it on and I was like, maybe they're shooting stars tonight.
We
And
know
it
what
was like,
Greg's doing when we get off the podcast.
by the way, it's tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to get his dailies out of the way.
All right. So I did get my dailies out of the way before I went to eat.
Oh,
You know, that's the thing. Got to get your dailies out of the way, man.
listen, Johnny Red's on my island and there was 2 original pieces of artwork.
Yeah.
So I just bought the one that it was the hardest to figure out.
Yeah.
And I was like, the other one's easy because the other one's like one of those that's always real, and the painting is one of those that once in a while. I was like, go ahead and buy the painting because if I see that sculpture again, I know to buy it. It's not a big deal. But I haven't seen him in a while, so it's kind of cool he showed up today.
I'm curious about like if Treadaway had a Switch, if he would be like if he'd get into it or if he'd be like, this is stupid.
No, I mean, I'm sure I would just get it. I mean, I'm a video game junkie, and especially games like that make me like. I play Galaxy of Heroes on my phone, Star Wars, and I mean, you have daily tasks, and if you collect all your different objectives, you get like a bonus. And really, what I'm trying to do is get Boba Fett to 99. I mean, that's just
there you go. That sounds very Animal Crossing like, right?
I'm just trying to get Boba Fett to 99. I mean, that's it. It's like trying to get your Super Chocobo.
Yeah, exactly.
I've made different characters on my island call me Boba Fett.
Yes, you have.
And they also say stuff like Han shot first.
Well, that's true.
So that's the part that always trips me out is like even on the way they redubbed it, people forget the fact that he tipped the bartender on the way out and said, sorry about the mess. Like all that's gone. Like it's one of those things where he was the bounty hunter. I mean, he was a criminal, he was the smuggler.
He was a
scoundrel. Yeah. And then the way they redid it, it's like he's like,
was a scruffy little nut herder.
You just missed me and I'll shoot you back. No, that's not how it happened.
The lies.
Yeah. I like the fact that they addressed it in the Lego holiday special.
I shot first.
where they both go, you want this? Now let's both go. They both shoot Greedo before he gets a chance.
Did you watch that one, Greg? The holiday special, Lego?
I did not. Nope.
He wouldn't get it. There's a lot of references in there. You gotta be Star Wars savvy to get.
Yeah, but a lot of the ones that you would catch off of the original series. I mean, you don't have to have like the deep like Clone Wars and Rebels and all that kind of stuff, or read the books that find some of the stuff funny.
Yeah, like the world's best boss. The universe's best boss or something for the Emperor?
Yeah.
I can add it to the list, right?
Well, the list is growing too long right now.
That I'll never conquer because Animal Crossing rules my life. At peak, I got my capture card.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to Danny's and I was telling him about learning how to use OBS. Yeah. And he said, have you tried Streamlabs OBS? And I said, no. He said, that's way better. And I was like, how? And he was showing me how it's better. It is way more intuitive and it gives you more instruction, and you can customize your screen so that you can make each one of your little things bigger or smaller, and like you can have things move around, and it's just way easier to use. But it's Streamlabs OBS. It's free. You just type it into your Google search and it'll come up, but download free. And then when you plug it into your docking bay or whatever, you just got to find the source, and you'll see it on your screen. And you'll be like, "Look at me! I'm playing on my computer."
I was thinking about just from a content perspective, like whenever I crash my island and I'm tired of it and I want to start over, number one, I have to give you like 900 million bells. So just be prepared for that.
Okay.
I was actually thinking about having to transfer 900 million bells to you, like 4 million at a time. It would take like 68 days. So I'm probably not going to do that. I don't know. But I thought about like, could you do like, because when you start the game out, doing like a walkthrough, right? Because when you start the game out, you have to like meet certain tasks and do these things and talk. And now that I know so much about the game, I mean, you could do a YouTube series if you restarted your island, just basically like all the stuff you do in pieces moving forward. I don't know if that would be popular or not, but probably already out there. I don't know. But
so you have max bells right now?
Well, I did. And believe it or not, I had 999 million, and I've actually managed to spend like something like 70 million. I don't know how I did that.
It's
But
like the show Brewster's Millions, where he has to spend so many to get so many.
Yeah.
You know, and he's
Well,
like, finally at the stroke of midnight.
Yeah. Well, basically, I
forgot this
buy
receipt.
everything. Like I buy everything, and I gave a bunch away.
Great
too.
movie, by the way.
I gave a bunch away.
Yeah. For the younger generation out there, if you want to see a really good movie about money management, watch Brewster's Millions.
That's a great movie.
It's Richard Pryor, and basically he wins, or he gets an inheritance, and he has the option to take a small amount of money, which is not small. It's like $1 million. He can have $1 million of his inheritance.
30 million.
It was 30 million. It's 30 million that he inherits, but he can take the buyout clause for $1 million, or if he spends the 30 million, he gets 300 million.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So he has to. There's like all these rules about how he has to spend his money, and it's in a very short amount of time that he has to blow through this money. And in the process, like he learns a lot about the fact that the money's not going to make him happy all on the process. And at the end of it, he doesn't want anything to do with it. Like it, and ultimately it's the people around him that he cares about the most that really matters to him the most. And
yeah, I mean, I think he learns basically that, at the end of it, he's had to spend so much money. He doesn't want to spend it.
He hates money. Yeah, he hates money.
Yeah, which was the whole point. Was they?
I mean, he literally walked in. He's like, "I'll sign. I don't care." But it was
the rule was he had to spend that 30 million, and he could have nothing to show for it at the end.
Right. He could only gamble like 10% away. He could only give like 10% away for charity.
Right.
And it seemed like
he couldn't tell anybody.
Every time he gambled, he hit every long shot for like he tripled his money.
He kept making money right and left, and he would give money away to his friends, and they were concerned about him, so they started squirreling away some for him or making investments that turned out making him money. And he's like, "Stop doing this! I'm trying to get rid of this."
He couldn't
tell him that was part of
why he was spending the money.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I agree. It is a good movie.
Really underrated.
It's probably my favorite Richard Pryor movie. I mean, The Toy was good.
God, moving was great. Moving was great too. Yes. I mean, the only good part about Moving is I can't hear about somebody like trying to buy a house where I can't think about that guy who's like, but I'm taking that with me.
Yeah, I'm taking that with me. And then you walk in and everything's gone. Even the pool's gone.
That was amazing.
But my favorite, well, at that age, my favorite part was Stacy, his daughter, was in the movie, and she was smoking hot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing about being the old guy, like I don't know if it's like this where you guys work, but unfortunately, working at a hospital, it's like, I'm the old guy now, and everyone's 20, and you know what I mean. And I talk about good. I talk about good movies.
I make movie references, and nobody gets
right. I talk about good movies, and they're like, I say something about Ghostbusters, and they think like girls are in it, and I'm like, what?
No.
Well, what's really weird is like our music references. I'll hear something playing over the speakers when I walk into a place, and I'm like, man, I remember this. This was playing when I graduated, and the girl behind the bar is like, yeah, my grandma used to listen to this. I'm like, shut your mouth, you.
Oh my god!
It just means in the old folks' home they're gonna have 9 Inch Nails playing in the background or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be in there in my walker, but like, play the Blue album.
You'll be asking for Ned's Atomic Dustbin.
No kidding. Yeah. Yes, I will.
They'll wheel us in a room. Does this guy know what you're talking about? You'll just speak in music references and be like, yes, I know what he wants.
I'll just go to the nursing home and DJ. You know what I'm saying? And like all that, and be in the wheelchair. And be like, yeah.
Have your iPhone 20 at that point.
We'll pass out glow sticks. Hey, guess what I learned today? This is something you might think is interesting. I don't know if you do or not, but it turns out that for some reason the iPhone 12 messes with pacemakers, and all the previous iPhones do not.
Really?
So I'm at work today, and I'm like going into a patient's room, and there's a sign on the door that says no iPhone 12s, and I'm like, what? I'm like,
no, I hadn't heard that at all.
Yeah, I was like, so if I have an 8, I'm cool, right? But if I have a 12, and they're like, yeah, no, the 12 is messing with people's pacemakers. So there you go. That's one way to, it's one way to take people out, I guess, right?
Well, I'm an Android guy. I don't like iPhone. I've never liked Apple.
All the Androids mess with pacemakers. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, they probably do. I mean, everything Android, Apple gets like 7 years later.
Yeah, but I just found that kind of interesting because I'm thinking to myself, what feature did they put in that all of a sudden now it messes with somebody's pacemaker, right? Yeah, it's like
that's crazy.
I guess if you're done with life, you go turn on the microwave and pull up your iPhone 12, and that's it. You're done.
I bet the insurance can't do anything about that.
Yeah, crazy.
So, Treadaway.
Yes.
I have the idea of remaking Star Wars stuff, Star Wars stories, Star Wars scenes with Legos.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Is this going to be like cut, like
stop action?
Stop, like stop action?
Maybe.
I mean, you got a lot of free time on your hands, so I mean, you know.
But with the one eye, it does slow me down.
I mean, you've got a Slave One and a Millennium Falcon now, so I mean, you know.
I didn't know if you know this, if you're aware, but there is this website that sells only Lego characters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah, a buddy of mine has that. He's out of work currently. He was working in the music industry, and he did like a lot of like sound and stuff like that for like boards and stuff. So he's out right now. But everywhere he used to go, he used to post what group of Star Wars Legos he would take with him.
Yeah. So I guess you could buy all your Star Wars characters just because they're like $250 a piece. I mean, they're not necessarily super expensive, and you can buy packs of them. So there's probably like a Star Wars pack, and maybe it comes with a bunch of them. I don't know, but.
Be kind of like Robot Chicken.
Yeah. So I don't know, Josh. I think that would be interesting. About one problem is like trying to do stop action is like Lego characters aren't necessarily like super flexible. They don't have a lot of possible motions, right? I don't know.
But you watch the Lego movie, they don't do a lot of super flexible things.
Yeah.
They sort of move in movements like this.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Idea.
Well, try it.
Or I could do it like a dork, like I'm playing with them, and just show my hands playing with them.
That's even better, in my opinion.
I mean, because then I can talk the whole time, and that's the entertaining part.
And then you make all the voices with your own voice. So I mean, it's not exactly a interpretation. Yeah,
ding, ding. I think it's critical that if you're gonna do that you be drinking each and every time. Like I think that's important. I mean,
I've got some magic mushrooms for you.
Right, that is not a sober activity.
Change the name change the name from Star Wars to Drunk Wars.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 0% chance that you could do a video like that in the end and not have been drinking and be proud of it.
If Han goes into a rage and shoots everybody, I just start thumping them off the screen. Boom, boom, boom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Unshot first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Hey, listen, that's one thing I didn't show you is that some of these things actually do shoot these little plastic laser looking things. Mm-hmm. There's a spring loaded Lego piece in it that you just you push a button or you flick your hand in this thing and like a little plastic laser dart thing shoots out of it across the room. It's got a warning on it. It shows a little Lego guy with like a patch over his eye. It says X. And I'm like, they've got me in here?
That's like the original Hasbro Boba Fett had a little push button that the rocket would shoot out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first time you shot it, you would lose it and it was gone.
It'd always go into the fridge.
Yeah.
You know, if the next time we get together, a YouTube video we need to make is let's try to get some jarts. You know what I mean? Like, remember those things? Those jarts?
The yard darts?
Long darts that they bang.
Yard darts?
I used to have some.
Like metal.
Me too, yeah. We need to
You still have those? Do you have the rings?
Yeah.
I used to have them back when we first moved here. We were living in Spring Branch Mobile Home Park, and Dave actually had bought these lawn dart things, and they were super dangerous.
Oh yeah,
they were very dangerous.
We would do the thing where every now and then you just throw it up and go, "All right, Yahtzee, run!"
It's like what was the movie we were just talking about it earlier with Adam Sandler?
The
Grown Ups.
Grown Ups.
Yeah. When they would they shoot the arrow in the air.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think that could be an incredibly dangerous video. You know what I mean?
I'm too old and fat to be doing that.
I don't know.
I can't run.
I did that once at a very young age with a knife. It didn't work out very well.
You ran
Is
with
that
a
what
knife?
I see that.
No.
Is
Oh,
that scar right there that I see?
No, actually, it stuck in my cousin's head. I threw it up and I threw it too high, and it didn't go far enough, and it went straight up. She stood in the middle, and it went right through her crown of her head.
Ooh,
I lost my
nice.
first Swiss Army knife. My aunt took it from me and beat the out of me.
You think? Wow, you're frozen.
Yeah, I know. It's very bad internet.
what's wrong with your internet? Seriously.
Myrtle Beach.
Huh.
It's Myrtle Beach. It sucks.
It's a bad zone or what?
I don't have a clue. It just does it like every about 15, 20 minutes, it'll do a little freeze. And I'm fine. I see you guys, but y'all freeze up.
Why is Florence? I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I would think Myrtle Beach would.
Myrtle
Got-
Beach sucks. That's
get
why.
better.
No.
I mean, I don't know. Florence has
Albany's
a lot
got
of-
fiber optics.
No kidding. Yeah, I have. They dropped AT&T 1 gig fiber into my neighborhood. I was like, what?
I go to Greg's house and all my devices want to
actually-
take flight.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
actually did
Yeah.
just look today because I got my Spectrum bill and it's still, I'm paying $80 and I'm having this problem. So I just did look, and Frontier actually does have fiber optics here in my neighborhood that I'm looking into possibly switching over to.
I'm telling
Well,
you
the best
that.
part about it is if you have competing people in your area, they're all going to compete for prices too. Because my sister-in-law lives in Augusta, and they had Spectrum,
Knowledge-y.
Knowledge-y,
Yeah, they had a bunch of them.
AT&T, Wow, all these different competing programs, and so they had fiber in their area for like $30 a month. I was like, what?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Yeah.
It's like $49.99 a month for the Frontier here with the fiber optics for about the same speed that I'm paying for right now with Spectrum, and it's just basic internet, not fiber optic.
You know, the crazy thing is that when I got 1 gig, what I learned is that many of my devices couldn't handle it. It's like you got to buy all new computers and stuff because my desktop computer maxes out at 300 and all this stuff. And like I'm like, I own nothing in my house that actually can run it, except my iPhone, I guess. Right? Yeah. Pretty crazy. But anyway, it's pretty sweet, right? I mean, I didn't even know they were coming in. They brought in trucks and dug up all our yards, and we're all bitching. And they're like, "Oh, really? Please dig up my yard, right?"
Well, see,
Yeah.
with me using, my Fire Stick for my cable, I mean, I'm definitely looking for a faster. I mean, I don't even what I have now. I mean, I hardly ever buffer, but if I had, fiber optic versus what I have now, I mean, it would be even better.
Yeah.
I gotta get with you, Treadaway, because I want to break one of these Fire Sticks that I got. I got 3 of them or something, the 4K ones.
Mm-hmm.
So they should. I want to do that.
Allegedly, there.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No, what I meant was I want to drop it on the floor and step it and I want to break it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, you
Well,
misunderstood. You misunderstood.
The fact is, the actual just setting it up where it can accept other things is simple and easy. It's just knowing what programs to put on there.
Yeah, right. Because I'm assuming no more Cody, right?
Well, you can still use Cody. It's still there.
Yeah,
it's just that
not...
Cody, in my opinion, is outdated based on the fact that everything has to be updated all at once. And if you get outdated programs that programmers walk away from, it causes Cody to freeze up.
Right.
So now I'm just using straight APKs on the Fire Stick. And Josh will tell you about, his those. I mean, yeah.
Oh, right. I know it's good, right? So I
should have showed it to you while you were here, but I didn't think about it.
you couldn't.
As far as if you just want movies, if you just want movies and TV, on demand kind of stuff, that stuff's easy and free. But if you want to do the cable, like I was, I'm doing, and I've given Josh access to for his UFC fights and things like that, that breaks down to about $10, $15 a month.
Oh, cool.
And you can run 3 different TVs on that same price. And then if you add more, it's like $8 a month per connection.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll talk to you about it. Allegedly.
We talked about it a long time ago. Yes, the tennis channel's on there, so Lane will be okay with it.
The reason that you didn't show me that, Josh Peak, was because
you were playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it would have been less Animal Crossing. So that's why. That's why. I mean, I'm actually surprised we ate. Like I was like, wow, we're gonna eat, really? Can we bring it in there?
I'm surprised Pizza
When you
Mio
walked
didn't
in, I was
deliver.
like, should we podcast now or should we start Animal Crossing? And you were like, let's say Animal Crossing. Like, okay.
Yeah, who did you send Dolores for Pizza Mio while y'all Animal Crossed?
Well, she was getting off work and she was like,
so it really was. So you didn't go to Pizza Mio, you just had it delivered.
she called, like, we had plans to do something different, and she called me and she was like, listen, this is my first check and want to celebrate. And I was like, okay. She's like, She was like, call us. She's like, call us in a pizza and I'll go pick it up. I was like, really? Cool. So it just worked out.
Did you get your usual?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. God, it was good too, man.
But I only ate half this time. I didn't.
Balsamic drizzle.
You didn't shove the whole thing in your face like last time?
No. That was yeah.
Well, again, eating the whole pizza was too much because we had to play Animal Crossing. We had time for that. I don't know what you're talking
had
about.
open hands for the controller.
That's right. Yeah.
If someone would have fed him while he played, then he would have eaten the whole thing.
Listen, it was
See
snowing.
how, like, where your head's at.
It was snowing on my island yesterday too, and I was trying really hard to catch that rare to find fish. The one that was sells for like 15,000.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find him, and I must have fished for 3 hours and never got him. I was like,
wow. Imagine if you were me, that would have been like 10 hours.
I know, and I still wouldn't have caught him.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how you caught that many fish. You must have glitched the game or something.
Well, I have moments of clarity, right? I'm just too impatient. Like, that's my problem. I'm too impatient. I can't sit there and wait on that damn fish to do it. This is my time, right?
Now hold up. Now is this something that's come? Is this something that has come as you've gotten older? Because you were the first one to get the Super Chocobo, and that takes patience.
Well,
like I almost gave up. I almost gave up, but when I saw you cast Knights of the Round, I said I have to do it. But I mean, that was a lot of patience, a lot of resetting, a lot of restarting. I mean,
I was young then, I didn't have to work and stuff. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I never could do that now. I actually have Final Fantasy on my Switch, Final Fantasy 7.
Well, you were working when we lived in the apartment and you redid it.
Yeah, but still, that was like 3 12-hour shifts a week.
The crazy part was at one point when we had the 2 screens in here going, he flashed on to his home screen and he had other games, and I was like, I'm kind of curious about these other games, and he goes, they're not worth it. He just went back to play.
Yeah. It's like, I have other games, I don't play them, but I got some, right? Like,
I was like, I might be interested in getting another game. I kind of want to see it. And he's like, later. We'll do it later.
All right. So now I have to ask, is that something also? Because see, like, you used to be, Greg, when you were playing that, like when we lived in the apartment, you would eventually get tired and you would switch over to either the tactics or you would go over to the computer and play Dungeon Keeper.
Sure.
But now now you just, it's just Animal Crossing and you're like, that's it.
Well, like the thing with Animal Crossing is that, like, I don't play it for, like, if I don't want to play Animal Crossing, I just do my dailies. I can do them in like 20 minutes and then I don't have to play anymore that day, So some days I might spend hours on it, but if I get tired of it, I just do the dailies.
Okay, so that's very similar to what I do with my phone game with like Galaxy of Heroes. Like I can sit there and play a whole bunch of other stuff and do a bunch of other little tasks on the side. Right. But basically it's just I do my objectives and then I get my bonus and I'm done.
So I mean, there's not a lot of days, to be honest with you. And actually, I have absolutely no reason to do any of my dailies anymore. I mean, I've filled up all my fossils. I have, like, I had to empty my storage from all of this stuff I'd like hoarded. Like, I'm a hoarder too, right? So what I had to do is, check this out. This is great. You're gonna like this. I put Lane on my island and built her own house just to have extra storage. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
Well, that's just like, I mean, I first learned from you. You were the first one I ever saw. You put the controller underneath the couch.
Yeah. And
went to bed and let them wander around the little birds and gain XP while you were sleeping.
Yeah, well, got work to do. Yeah. I think that I wonder sometimes, had I not spent that time on Final Fantasy VII, like, what would I be doing in life? I might be an astronaut or something. You know what I mean? I might have really done something with my life. Wow.
But now, that being said, but you started early. I mean, you were Final Fantasy off the Game Boy.
Game Boy. You're absolutely right.
The Game Boy was the first Final Fantasy you played, right?
Final Fantasy 1.
You used to bring that in geometry, and you were sitting in geometry playing it in geometry.
Yeah, I played pretty much all of them until 10. After 10, I don't.
10 kind of, I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. No,
I have to say I have not had a chance to, but I do want to see the new release of 7 Reborn.
Yeah, and it's on the Switch. I mean, you can download it for like $8 sometime. Like
Well, I know Alex and Wes talked about it one time when we were having a podcast, and I mean, I've really wanted to check it out, but I don't have the money to go buy another system, so I've got my Xbox, and I was waiting to see if
you
they
can watch people play it on Twitch. Like it's really
but watching people play is different. I mean,
yeah, that's the kind of thing where I'm really like,
Listen,
what could I have done with my life? Watching
if I've gotten to the point where I have time to just sit and watch other people play video games like that. Now, don't get me wrong. During the pandemic, I did do that because I was so sports starved that I would watch people play like Madden and like NBA Live and all that.
I highly recommend watching something on Netflix called High Score. And
I've actually seen that.
Okay, so it's a mini series. Greg, you haven't seen it. It's a mini series about the history of video games, and one of them, it talks about the guy who created the characters that you see on Final Fantasy. So when he drew them up, he drew them very, it's a Japanese artist. He drew them very artistic. It was beautiful. But at the time, Final Fantasy, you know what the first ones were like. It was just, just like a little square with a couple of dots.
2D, yeah.
So they had to morph it down to look like that. And then, of course, with each iteration of the game getting better, they made it look more and more like the artist rendition. Whereas now it actually looks like his rendition. So they show like the evolution of it and how it looks now versus how he first drafted it. And now it actually looks like his drawings from years ago. But it's really interesting to see that progression and how it gets there. But yeah,
I feel like
watching people play it now, it's so beautiful in the fact that when you were playing before, even though it looked 3-dimensional, there was that limited gameplay of you hit a button and then things happen and you just have to wait for your turn to do it again. Whereas now it's like literally as they're attacking you, you can strafe to the side, you can do all kinds of things to defend yourself, you can attack whenever you get a chance. I mean, there's all things that are real life, like moving around and chance, I mean, is a big part of it. Your timing is a big part of it, but it's no longer waiting for, all right, when's it going to cycle around to my turn again? Because you're waiting for all this stuff to go on.
Right. Well, I think I don't know. I think Final Fantasy. I think 7 is the best game that I think has ever been made. That's my opinion. But
I literally bought my PlayStation because I walked in on you and you cast Knights of the Round in your room, and I said I have to play this game and cast that.
Yeah, well, and that I can't figure out why it is that they changed and I guess they just want to be different, but they went to 8 and 9 and all these subsequent.
Oh, that weird thing that they did.
Well, they changed the whole the cool thing about 7 is that it's the perfect balance of how you run the game, how you use your items, how you do all that stuff. And then you got 8 and you were thinking, cool, I'm going to get a whole nother story, but I wanted the same mechanics, and they've never used the same mechanics. The mechanics in Final Fantasy 7 are perfect. They're perfect.
I personally agree.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I thought as a kid growing up, Metroid and Zelda were like my top level.
Sure.
They're perfect games.
Sure. Yeah.
And then when you introduced me to Final Fantasy 7, I was like, this is the greatest game ever made.
I think so. I think it's.
I still think it is the greatest game ever made.
I do.
I watched somebody's video recently of how they beat Zelda within 5 minutes. There's a glitch in the game that this guy did. He goes, I saw this online. I'm just going to see if it actually works. And he was running through and he did this thing and opened up a secret door and he got a key and he went in and all of a sudden he was there defeating the boss. And I was like, what? And even he's geeking out the whole time. He goes, I can't believe we're doing this. He's within 5 minutes, he was like, who, what? What's going on? There's some weird glitch in the game.
That's crazy. I mean, I did. Well, I didn't do that, but I was going through some bunch of stuff in Chrissy's garage one day, but when we first started dating, and she had an old Super NES, just regular NES. Sorry, not the Super NES, but the regular NES. Wow. And there was a bunch of games, and originally it had the original, Mario, obviously. And I was just like, oh my god! So I did exactly what I always did. I timed myself. How fast can I beat the game? And I, went through 1-2 to 4-1, 4-2 to 8-1, and got to 8, and I could not remember the freaking pattern for the damn dungeon. And it took me a while. So, I mean, it ended up turning out, it took me an hour and 15 minutes to beat the game. And then I turned around and right around after that and did it again when I remembered the code. I mean, the sequence, and I beat it in 45 minutes.
That's nuts, because we used to take, days or hours or whatever. Yeah. So what do you think, Treadaway? And Peak, of course, your input. I don't know that you played as many video games as we did. But what do you think your top 5 video games of all time were?
All right. Number 1 by far, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me was Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I couldn't be beat.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I was very, very, way too much involved in it. I was very good. So
yeah.
For the fact that I only beat it once, I really love Metroid. I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4. It's a kind of between Metroid and Zelda for 3 and 4.
Okay.
And then, to be perfectly honest, I love the original Mario World.
Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
It was a great game. It was fun. It had all kinds of hidden things that you had to learn. I mean, it just those. I mean, if you come into newer games, I mean, like Halo was really nice, but I mean, I remember growing up as a kid, and those games were the ones that still stuck with me in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would be my top 5 for me. Final Fantasy VII is absolutely by far number 1.
Yeah. What do you think, Peak? You got 5 you like?
Okay, so I'm going to go chronologically. I had an Atari 2600, and there was a game on there that was very hard to play, but it was way ahead of its time. It was called something like Star Master or something like that, where you had a spaceship and you plotted a course to go fight some enemies, and once you defeat your enemies, like it was hard because you had to get them lined up in your little zone to shoot them. They would shoot at you from random places. At times there was asteroids to kind of avoid, and then once you got your goal or you got damaged, you had to then go find a mothership to get supplies, and you could run out while you're on your way there. Like you would plot a course, you'd hit your little warp drive thing, and it was super complex and super hard. But also it was one of those things where if you played it with a group of people, like it was a real challenge. And if you could do it, you were really good at it. And I was good at it, but it was also like really, really in depth for a Atari 2600 game. And then of course, moving into Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers was just bonkers. I mean, when you first got Super Mario Brothers, it was so much fun to play. And I can't tell you how many hours of gameplay it had for me, but also I had a joy in the fact that my Nana was staying with me one time and she played. She was like, I want to play. I was like, okay. And to watch her sit on the couch and do to try to make the guy. I'll never. I mean, it's a sentimental reason, but it kind of.
No, that's awesome. I remember my mom doing the same thing.
It's just a memory that I'm so happy that I have, and it's a cherished moment. When PlayStation came out, they advertised Final Fantasy VII is buy this game, and of course I was in the military at the time. You guys were back home, but I bought it because it came with the game, and they gave me 2 T-shirts that had the big cloud on the back with a giant sword, which was pretty cool. But I was living in California at the time, and I spent a lot of time playing Final Fantasy. So I mean that was really a big deal for me. Matter of fact, when I went through my divorce, I was in the barracks room, and all I had was a TV and that game, and I just played it over and over again. Like I would defeat it and then start over, and play it again and defeat it and start over. I must have done that like 4 or 5 times while I was living in the barracks because I was like, I have one game, so here we go.
Now, my real quick question for you, Josh: did you buy the guide and get everything, or did you just beat the game and not because you could beat the game and never have a Super Chocobo, never give it a cast Knights of the Round. And honestly, that was the only reason I wanted to play the game was to cast Knights of the Round. Like I watched Greg cast it, and I said, I have to play this game so I can cast that.
No, I did everything. I had a book. The book came with it, but
okay, you did about the strategy guide. Okay,
I didn't even look in the book. I mean, I had nothing but time, so I just played. I didn't have cable. I didn't have anything. I was just like, well, I got time. And then coming home, getting a house and having kids and whatnot. I remember being at the mall when Xbox was coming out and Halo was advertised, and you could play Halo in the store. And I was like, well, this is kind of new. I mean, most people don't let you play the game before you buy it, and this was a great way to advertise Halo at the time and Xbox. And I was like, well, we're getting a Halo and we're getting an Xbox. And I mean, God knows how many hours I spent playing that with my kids. I mean, that was really cool. What are we up to? Number 4? So
I think you have 5.
That's 4. So my 5th one is going to be World of Warcraft. I didn't play it when Greg was playing it. I didn't play it when everybody else apparently was playing it, but I played it with my kids. And at one time we had 4 computers in the house, all playing it at the same time with 4 different accounts. And it was nuts to go into a campaign where we all knew each other and we could yell across the room, come on, let's get them, and it was fun. It was so immersive.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I never got to play that part of War. I played the original War, like when it first came out, and it was just an RPG, and it wasn't an open source.
Yeah,
and that's the one I played, and it was okay, but I mean, it was like basically Sim City kind of. It was like do this, you do that.
One of the things that occurred to me on that game was that I'm a grinder, so if it's something that you could do this if you just spend enough time at it, I was like, okay.
Yeah, no problem, right?
I mean, that kind of helped me define the kind of games that I like. Is in the past it was always about you got to achieve this and you got to do everything and you got to make sure everything's you can do it fast, you can do a completionist style, you can do it all kinds of different ways. But this was sort of an open source, whatever you want to do kind of game. And if you just wanted to fish all day, you could just fish all day. Or if you wanted to like do nothing but kill boars or mine things and make things, you could just do that. And I was really happy with just doing that.
Very Animal Crossing, like without the dungeons.
Yes. The first one that I played like that was Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Yeah. And that was the first game that I played that was like open source like that and just open world and do whatever. And it was amazing, but it was just so much that, you just didn't know what to do. But I do have to amend one thing. I apologize. And it's because they haven't done it in so long. In my top 5 somewhere, I don't know which one I'll drop, NCAA football.
But you already have 5, so.
But they're bringing it back.
I mean, if you want to name other games, we could just name other games. But you said you're.
Well, no. I'm saying it.
No. You can't change the rules now just because you want to do that. You can't do that.
I'm probably gonna drop. No, I'm sitting thinking.
If you want to write them down and come back to the 5, you could do that.
Listen. Hold up. You asked me a question, and I had time to quantify it. I'm probably going to drop Mario off the top 5.
You just don't want to give Greg a turn because you're afraid he's going to like out Trump you. Go ahead.
Well, no, he's definitely going to out Trump me, but I definitely have to drop Mario and put NCAA football. Okay, listen, and that's my. Go ahead, Greg.
He asked the question, so he already knows what his answer is going to be because he's thought about it.
Of course he does. He's thought about this. That's what I'm saying.
So actually, I didn't think about it prior to asking the question, but you guys have been talking a long time, so it gave me time to think about it.
Well, now it's your turn, Mr. Steele.
So my number 1 is definitely Final Fantasy VII, but my number 2 is Torchlight 2. And Torchlight 2 is the only game I've ever found that I like anywhere near as much as Final Fantasy VII.
I thought sure it was GoldenEye.
Well, GoldenEye is in the list. Yeah, just haven't gotten to it yet. 3 is probably Animal Crossing, most likely. Because I really like Animal Crossing. 4 might be GoldenEye. Yeah, probably GoldenEye. I think GoldenEye, like, as far as pure fun, because, like, Final Fantasy is a great game and Torchlight's a great game, but they're not fun like GoldenEye. GoldenEye is the most fun game I've ever played. When you had, like, 4 of us and we were all playing, oh my God, that was the trash talking, right? Like, it was not even really about the game. It was like 4 guys being together, whether it was you guys or my family. We'd play it like crazy at my dad's house too, and you'd shoot someone and just like talk so much shit. It's great. And then I guess my 5th one is called Dungeon Keeper. That's another game that's on the PC.
I remember Dungeon Keeper.
I still have that on my computer.
You still have it on your computer?
Well, and I had it on disc, and it was so old that my computer wouldn't load it anymore. So I had to go find someone who had made it so that you could load it, and it loads in DOS on your Windows computer.
was it just because you could pick up the little minions and drop them anywhere?
So
that's your favorite part?
Around,
yeah.
No. I
remember Eric introduced us to that game.
I love the strategy of that game. I think it's a lot of fun. So that's probably my 5th one. So I had to put Animal Crossing in there though. There's a lot of other ones too. I mean, Tecmo Bowl could be on my list, right? Super Tecmo Bowl.
Super Tecmo Bowl. Without a doubt. Wait, I love the original Tecmo Bowl, but Super Tecmo Bowl was just The perfect
Super.
football game to me.
I played a lot more Super Tecmo Bowl. Plus, I like making your own running back, right?
Yeah.
Until the bastard got hurt, then you were upset.
Yeah, then you were done because you had nobody else on your team.
Oh, you could get him though, and you could make these rushing records. That was just so stupid. So that was.
Oh, you would. I would sit there for hours trying to get the little red bars to be full so I can make him the fast. And of course, mine was always "IBC you later." That was my guy.
That's right. Yep. And West had "Why even try?"
Why even try? That's right.
I can't.
He actually named his fantasy football team that whenever we did the fantasy football leagues.
That's right. That's right. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna have to run.
Yeah, I gotta wrap this up.
It's fun. I enjoyed it. And listen, I like it. Like, I'm not saying we should do another 5-hour podcast, right? But it seems like people enjoyed listening to us because I think we're.
Well, here's my thought process. We're at 290. The big 3-0's coming.
Yeah.
I think 300. We should try to do a big group one again. We did it for 200, right? That was the 5-hour.
So, do we get costumes and dress up like the 300?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like,
this
do a whole
Sparta. I can hold the lightsaber and like kick something over,
Listen, there are 0 people that want to see me in a toga. I'm just going to be honest about it up front, right?
Listen, I don't want to see me in a toga.
I don't want to see me in a toga either.
It's like this was the least popular podcast we've ever had, or at least the YouTube version.
All the comments would be like, God. What were you thinking? Like, I wasn't.
It's like, why did my mom just come in the room and cover my eyes? I'm 31.
So, but yeah, I think 300 we should try to do all together if we can.
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
We'll think of something.
It'd be fun. Yeah. I'm not saying we need to do 5 hours, but
No, well, not necessarily 5 hours. I mean, although according to Peak, apparently there were quite a few people that listened to the whole thing.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that is problematic.
I did it just for me. I was like, I don't care if anybody listens or not.
Yeah. Well,
it was a celebration for me. I was like, let's just do it. Who cares? So
we should do something fun for it. Like, let's all I don't know. Let's all grill something, right? Let's do something like.
I can't grill and do this. No.
I'm not saying you grill at the same time you're doing it. I mean, you can have whatever you grilled. And I don't know. I mean,
he just wants to air fry now. He doesn't even want to grill. He wants to air fry everything.
No, that's not it.
I like to air fry everything. But
I air fry as much as I can.
Yeah, chicken wings. Whew.
Now, I smoke my wings and then air fry them.
And air fry them. Yeah, I thought about doing that. That sounds really good.
Like with the Treadaway wings, instead of like dipping them and then putting them back on the grill, I smoke them and then dip them and then air fry them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so I did that too. I smoked them. Yeah. Well, what I did last time was I smoked them and then I basted them.
Right.
And they crisped up at the I cranked it up at the end, and it crisped them up really good. It was nice.
Well, I'm not saying we have to grill something, but I mean, it might be cool to do something like whatever. I don't know.
Just some kind of odd. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean,
we'll make a road trip to Albany, and Greg can grill for us, and we'll do it in person.
And we'll stop at Buc-ee's and
we'll stop at Buc-ee's on the way.
Holy shit! We should actually do it from the parking lot of Buc-ee's. That's what we should do.
Be a generator running around the corner. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, get out of here! We're on the air.
When's the Buc-ee's in Florence supposed to open? We'll meet at the Buc-ee's grand opening.
Not soon enough.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I don't even know where they're building yet. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
it's just a billboard right now.
Oh, hey, think of it. The last time I went to Buc-ee's, I bought myself a set of Buc-ee's coasters. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I
had
just make sure it doesn't
2 nights in a row
when you put it in there.
And if you buy a Buc-ee's t-shirt, you get this fancy Buc-ee's sticker. I'm just telling you, I got Buc-ee's stuff everywhere. I'm addicted. They should make me a brand ambassador. You know what I'm saying?
So great. When's the show?
April 10th. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
Congratulations, and I'm glad you guys are back, and I know you're happy about it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, this version of the band it's fun. It's different, and not that the other version of the band wasn't fun and everybody was great, but it's just I'm just looking forward to it. I'm excited. I think we got a good idea here. We're gonna have fun. Be great. Yeah.
Well, go watch WandaVision and a tiny map of perfect little things.
I have an actual written list. I will not forget.
not it.
I will watch
What is it?
A map? It's a map.
I thought it was the tiny map.
No,
Oh, it's a map of tiny, perfect little things.
something like that. It's on
It's
Amazon.
got the word tiny on there. I know that.
The word
Listen,
tiny is on there.
I have a list of the living room, and actually, if I look at my text, Josh has texted me the name of it like 400 times because I keep asking him over and over and over again.
And it's
some
on.
reason.
I put it on Facebook, so
Yeah.
I mean, I put the picture, everything.
Yeah. Hey guys, that was fun. I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
You got it, Money. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, you too, Jay. We'll let's do it again though. I mean, honestly, I know you guys have been doing a regular like the Star Wars cast, which I'm not useful for, right? Like I don't know all that stuff, but
Well, we've kind of thrown a little Star Wars, but we kind of switched over to the whole WandaVision because
I'm not useful for that either.
When you watch it, you will. See, you got to watch it, then you catch up, and then you can be on the podcast and be right there with us.
But I just was going to say, I do think the three of us doing it is a lot of fun. I enjoy talking to you guys. So
I always enjoy talking with you guys.
Yep.
I have special feelings.
In a special place.
In special places.
Oh God.
We really are like three brains for one.
We have not hung out together at all. You know what I mean? Not at all.
All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Everybody out there listening, I hope you had a good time listening to it. This is not going to post tonight. It's actually going to post tomorrow. So anyway, I don't want to overflow people with content because they'll be like, I didn't listen to any of it. You put out too much stuff. If you like this,
you called it a bonus episode this morning.
I did, but I'm going to put it out tomorrow because I don't want to spend time posting it tonight. I'll just save it and do it tomorrow.
This is a bonus episode.
I got a bonus for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who's listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends. If you want to be on the podcast, let me know. We can do this through Zoom. We can hang out, whatever you want to do. I don't care. We'll figure it out. Thanks, guys, for being on.
Yeah, I mean, like to say to the people out there that might say, "Oh, I don't know about being on the podcast." You can talk about literally whatever you want. What about the dumb stuff we talk about?
Right. I haven't even started talking about aliens yet, and that's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you could do worse than this, I welcome you to try.
Yeah, we didn't talk. We didn't talk about landing the rover on Mars.
Right. Yeah, making history. We
haven't even started like that one. I guess that's the next episode.
Yeah. So, please remember to rate, review, subscribe, share with your friends, and check out the podcast website www.stuffiheard.com. And as always, cue the cow.
To give me more likes. Give me more likes.